Victor, you know this, and I think most of our audience knows this, but just we get almost daily reminders that we are being represented by a field of idiots. Remember when you were a kid and you looked up to somebody who made it to the U.S. Congress? Certainly the Senate, but even in the House. You used to think like that would require a certain level of intelligence, accomplishment, wisdom. We were wrong. This person is a complete moron. So she represents much of the Houston area. My friends in Houston, do better. You've got to make a change. Look at who is representing you. She decided to weigh in on the eclipse and the solar system. And she went to the Booker T. Washington High School down in Houston. She's a Democrat. And decided to speak to those in front of her about how the moon is made up mostly of gases. Listen.
A full moon is that complete rounded circle, which is made up mostly of gases. And that's why the question is why or how could we as humans live on the moon? Are the gases such that we could do that? The sun is a mighty powerful heat that is almost impossible to go near the sun. The moon is more manageable.
Okay. Now, I confess prior to this dust up, I did not know exactly what the moon was made of, but I knew that it was solids and it was largely volcanic. I at no point thought it was made up of gases. And almost everybody understands that. And now Sheila Jackson Lee is trying to come out and cover herself by saying the following. Obviously, I misspoke and meant to say the sun. But as usual, Republicans are focused on stupid things. Well, we are. That's true. We're focused on stupid things. I don't know if we're talking about the same thing. Instead of stuff that really matters. What can I say, though? Foolish thinkers lust for stupidity. So what she's trying to say, Victor, is that she meant to say the sun. That a full sun that is a complete rounded circle, and that the sun is made up mostly of gases. And that's why the question is, how could we as humans live on the sun? Are the gases such that we could do that? Now you tell me whether that makes it better or worse.
Yeah, I don't think the problem with living on the sun is the gas. I think it's the heat. But it reminds me, do you remember maybe 6 years ago, Hank Johnson, he was another representative, and they were asking him about the Guam tsunami. And he said, well, I got to ask you something. Is the island in danger that if everybody went to one way on one side of the island to flee the big waves, then there would be too much weight on Guam and it would flip over? And the expression on the general's face as he looked at him, he thought, okay, how do I answer this congressperson who thinks that you can flip an island over by too many people being in one place? So is in that category. But I don't know. I mean, we don't elect people on their intellect or their experience. It's mostly tribalism, and whether, it's this House of Representatives has really declined in its caliber. I'm just saying that as I can remember the 1960s and 50s, at least people in the Democratic Party were pretty good, some of the House speakers. And you had people in the Senate like Everett Dirksen that give long, lectures on history and culture. They were a pretty good, sound bunch. We've declined in a lot of ways. And in the people we elect, I don't know why it is. Maybe it's social media, maybe it's too much money, or maybe it's too much tribalism. But we're electing people on who they say they represent, or who are what, their tribe, gay, male, female, black, white. That's a really bad idea in a multiracial democracy.
Well, the problem is we're relying on these people to help us with entitlement reform so that we don't have Medicare and Social Security go bankrupt, to help us close up the southern border, which, the president has maintained he absolutely has to have Congress's cooperation on. This is who we're looking at. By the way, this woman went to Yale undergrad and UVA law school, okay? for those of you who still think these are esteemed institutions that somehow validate one's intelligence, think again, because here's more of Representative Sheila Jackson Lee on the moon being a planet. Watch.
Today will be the closest distance that the moon has ever been in the last 20 years, which means that's why they will shut the light down, because they will be close to the Earth. And Dr. Simmons, I didn't go too far away from the scientific explanation. Is that correct, hopefully? All right, so I was near it. The solar system is bigger than us, though there are solar systems and there are systems that are smaller than the Earth. Still, we're in a solar system, and we depend on the Earth, the moon, and the sun. That is our existence. That is what creates our desire for creativity, our music, our weather, our rain, our snow, our cold, our heat. That solar system working. Some of you are going into engineering. This is what engineering is. We have yet to know whether you can live on the moon. But I don't know about you. I want to be first in line to know how to live and to be able to survive on the moon. That's another planet, which you're going to see shortly. You're not serious. Get the glasses on. I'm getting ready to blow the whistle. When I blow the whistle, get out on the field. Get out on the field like you're going to find your own space, your own heaven. There's going to be one. I can't. Come on out. Come on out.
She can't get the eclipse glasses on. Okay, you get the picture, Victor.
Yeah, I do.
I think we should send her.
Yeah, I mean, she thinks the Earth is a solar system as well, and that there's solar systems smaller than the Earth. I don't know what that could be. A bunch of, I don't know, 9 or 10 planets crammed inside the Earth. But
also completely misdescribed what actually was happening with the eclipse, with the moon's location. And I guess that makes sense when she thinks it's a planet. But keep going.
Well, I think everybody when you said, she went to Yale, but Yale's like Stanford or Princeton, and there's no SAT required now. And everybody thinks that we engineer the applications this year. So the incoming class at Stanford is 21% white, of 9% white males. I just picked that figure out because that's the one group that falls so far below their demographic. They're only 1/3 or 1/4 their demographic in the general population. So when you start engineering these classes, you think that's the end of it. But you talk to faculty, or you're a faculty member, and you can see what happens. That's the beginning, because then you have to change the course content, or you have to add new courses, or you have to do what Yale does, where you give 80% of the people A's. And if you don't do it, you come under the gaze of the DEI conglomerate, and then they say you're systematically grading in a way that reflects bias or racism or whatever. And so our whole society, if we're not going to have any standards of meritocracy, and we're going to adjudicate what a person says by their greater claims to victimization, and that's what she's basically saying. She didn't say, I apologize, I don't know what I'm talking about. She says that the Republicans are glomming onto me. And she should say, I don't care if they glom onto me or right. I'm going to be accurate when I try to inspire young people about the world beyond Earth, but and I'll do a better job next time. But that's not where we are now.
I have secondhand embarrassment for her. The clip has gone everywhere. Her explanation or clarification makes it worse. She's also too dumb to realize that. I'm very concerned. It's not a problem limited to the left in Congress, in the House of Representatives, but boy, oh boy, there are a lot of folks over in that far left part of the caucus that you'd never want to have dinner with, because how could you make intelligent conversation? How do you even respond to that? Yeah,
I do think though that she's on the B scale. Hank Johnson got the record by saying that a whole island can flip over when too many people crowd on one side. That hasn't been ever rivaled, but she came close.
Yeah, she gave it the old college try. Okay, so that's the most disturbing thing in the news today. As we approach another critical election, many Americans are concerned. Recent studies reveal that an astonishing 56% of citizens report feelings of anxiety or dread about the upcoming election. But I want to tell you about AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. AMAC is more than a senior org. During these challenging times, they fight for common sense and for the U.S. to return to traditional American values. Visit amac.us/Megan today to get an exclusive election year special, 4 years of AMAC membership for just $30. As an AMAC member, you not only enjoy money-saving benefits, but also the AMAC magazine, free Social Security and Medicare advice, a trusted voice in Washington, and a community of like-minded patriots. Take advantage of this election year special, 4 years for $30, and be part of the solution. Join now at amac.us/Megan. That's amac.us/MEGYN. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.